Hello everyone, my name is Sarah, and today we're going to be reading an article that I wrote about Sputnik 5, which is the new COVID-19 vaccine released by the Russian government. So yeah, it's good news, maybe. We don't actually know all the information about Sputnik 5 just yet, but in this article we're going to talk about what we do know. So the text on the screen is a little bit small, so we're going to go through the article one sentence at a time. All right, does that sound good to you? Let's go. 7 months into the COVID-19 pandemic, Russia has injected the world with a long-awaited dose of good news. The Russian government has approved a vaccine for COVID-19. So here I use a little bit of creative language, or like a pun. So here has the word injected. So usually when you give someone a vaccine with a needle, you inject the vaccine into their body. However, Russia has not literally injected planet Earth with this vaccine. However, they gave the world a lot of hope. So you can say this in a creative way by saying that Russia has injected the world with a long-awaited dose of good news. So a dose is usually one serving of medicine or a treatment. So it's kind of like a medical pun. I don't know. I hope that you guys thought that was interesting. But definitely the most interesting thing about this sentence is the last part, which is that the Russian government has approved a vaccine for COVID-19. And we've been waiting for this forever. It seems like it, ever since the pandemic started in January and February of this year. So this is very exciting news. Let's go to the next sentence. The vaccine, based on a proven vaccine against adenovirus, the common cold, is the first to be approved by a national government since the beginning of the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic in early 2020. However, the announcement has drawn a mixed response. So, the new vaccine for the coronavirus, it's based on a vaccine that we already know works for adenovirus. And this is a complicated term that probably only doctors know, but just FYI, just so you know, the word adenovirus is the word for the common cold. So, you know, when you just have like a little cough, maybe sniffles, you're sneezing a little bit, so it's not that serious. But the Russian scientists, they used similar techniques that they used to develop the vaccine for the adenovirus in order to treat the coronavirus. So, I don't know, that sounds really interesting to me. And they're the first to approve this kind of vaccine since the beginning of the pandemic. And it's only been a few months. Usually this sort of thing takes a really long time, like more than 2 years. So if this vaccine works, it's a really big deal. So you would think that everyone would be super happy about this. I mean, we have a vaccine for the pandemic. Maybe that means it's going to be over really soon. But not everybody is so happy, because the announcement has drawn a mixed response. So something that draws a mixed response, it means some people are happy, some people don't think it's good, some people do think it's good. So it's mixed. It's not consistent all around the world. All right, let's move on to the third sentence. Unlike most vaccines in circulation, Sputnik 5 has not yet completed its phase 3 trials, which typically involve wide-scale testing of thousands of patients. This stage of testing is usually viewed as essential to ensure that the vaccine does not cause any adverse side effects in those who receive it. So probably most people watching this video have received some kind of vaccine at some point in their lives. I definitely did when I was a kid in America. Before I came to Korea, I had to get some more vaccinations. So this is all very good. It keeps us from getting sick, keeps us from infecting others. Very good thing. So most vaccines in circulation, the vaccines that you can buy and sell easily these days, but they all completed phase 3 trials. So when you're developing a new vaccine, usually you have to go through 3 stages of scientific experiments. So the first stage, they test it on just a small group of people. The second stage, they test it on a few more. And then in the third stage, they test it on thousands of people all at once. And this takes a lot of time, and they have to make sure that the vaccine is not going to cause any adverse side effects. So cause any kind of bad side effects or other illnesses or even death. So it's very, very important that the vaccines we're injecting into our body, we know what's in them, and then we know it's safe for humans. So Sputnik 5, it's a vaccine, but we actually don't know if it's safe yet for everybody because they haven't completed the third stage of trials. So now I understand a little bit better why it's drawn a mixed response and why not everybody is super happy about this vaccine. Some scientists worry that the Russian government's decision to approve the vaccine ahead of phase 3 testing may have been motivated by political reasons. So, of course, it always comes down to politics. I study politics in school, and I don't think anyone actually likes politics. I'm interested in kind of like how politics works, but in situations like this, it's just like, come on, we just want to help people. Why does everything have to be so political? So the scientists are worried that maybe the Russian government released this vaccine for some kind of political reason. So some kind of reason that's going to make Russia and the Russian government stronger and improve their reputation. So what do political analysts think? Let's see. Political analysts fear that the release of a potentially ineffective or even harmful vaccine in Russia could engender impatience among citizens of countries that require more rigorous testing before approving of a vaccine. So people who study politics, the political analysts, they're kind of afraid that Russia is just rushing this vaccine into the market. And if they don't follow the protocol or the rules or norms that are usually used in this sort of situation, it could actually make people sick or even die. So it's usually really, really important that we have these stage 3 trials. And in almost every country, a vaccine is required to go through stage 3 trials before people are allowed to buy and sell the vaccine and give it to lots and lots of people. So let's say you're living in a country where the rules are very, very strict about having to do these phase 3 testings in order for the vaccine to get released. Well, I'm sure that all of you can definitely relate to this, but a lot of people, they're really impatient. They want to go back to their normal lives. They just want to have this pandemic be over. And I definitely understand why people would feel that way. I mean, I want to go to class with my friends. I want to be able to go to restaurants and concerts. Right now, that's not possible because of the pandemic. So if I'm in, let's say, the United States, and I can't do any of these things, and I hear, well, in Russia, they have this vaccine, so why are we having to wait an entire year, potentially, for this vaccine when they have it already in Russia? What's going on? So it could engender impatience. It could make people impatient. It could cause impatience among citizens of countries that require more rigorous testing. So rigorous testing, it happens when scientists, they put the vaccine through lots of different trials. They look at it from every angle, and they try to do really, really deep analysis with lots and lots of people and lots of data to make sure 100% that this vaccine is actually safe. So that's called rigorous testing. So yeah, I definitely see why people might be worried. I understand why people might feel impatient. I definitely feel impatient about all of this just ending. But yeah, it's a difficult situation. All right, next sentence. It's a quote. Geopolitics, or being able to claim victory, may put pressure on other countries to cut corners on safety and effectiveness as well. This could put us all in danger, said Peter Drobak, who is an infectious disease medic at Oxford University. So this guy, he's a doctor at Oxford University. He's also worried about the political aspects of this pandemic. So he talks about geopolitics, and he describes it as being able to claim victory. It puts pressure on other countries to cut corners. So what does it mean to cut corners? This is a very commonly used English expression. So if you think about a piece of paper, and if you cut all the corners off, the paper becomes smaller, right? So this expression is used to describe a situation when people try to do something but spend less money or less time, and then the product ends up being of lower quality. And when it comes to something like a vaccine, this is not something that you want to do. You want to make sure that you're not cutting corners. You're not sparing money or resources in order to develop an effective and safe vaccine. So Peter Drobak, he's also worried about this situation, because if they release this vaccine and lots of people get it, and then it turns out that the vaccine actually doesn't work, or it even makes people sick, it could put us all in danger. So it could be a really bad situation. However, not everyone agrees with this sentiment. Russian President Vladimir Putin disagrees with this sentiment. He insisted that the vaccine was safe and that one of his daughters had been inoculated earlier this week. So, of course, because the vaccine was made in Russia, the Russian government, they're not going to want to say that their vaccine is not safe just because it hasn't been through the trials. So Vladimir Putin, he disagrees. He thinks, hey, this vaccine, it's perfectly safe, and it's so safe that I even allowed my own daughter, my own flesh and blood, to be inoculated earlier this week. So inoculated means to receive some kind of injection or treatment in this case. And in this situation, it would be a vaccine. So lots of different people with lots of different opinions about the situation. It's very, very complicated. So the political analysts and the Oxford medic, they think, maybe releasing this vaccine before we've done the stage 3 trials, maybe that's not such a good thing, because it could hurt people and it could make people in other countries impatient and want a vaccine now when they can't develop one in, a very, very short period of time. But on the other hand, Russian President Vladimir Putin, he thinks this vaccine is so safe that I will allow my entire family to actually get this vaccine because I believe in it so much. So lots of different opinions. So what does the WHO have to say about this? The WHO released a statement on August 12th stating that it was looking forward to reviewing the clinical trials. So the WHO, it's an international organization. They have to be very careful when they make statements that could be misunderstood or perceived to be political in nature. So in this statement that they made, they don't really take a side. So in Oxford, you have people saying it's not safe, it could cause people to become impatient, it could even hurt people, we don't know what's going to happen. You have the political analysts saying, oh, Russia just did this to claim victory, they just want to look good. And then you got Vladimir Putin, he says, the vaccine is totally fine. I even gave it to my own daughter. So all these different opinions. And the WHO, it doesn't really say that it agrees with any one person. So it says that they were looking forward to reviewing the clinical trials. So the WHO, they're excited about looking at the research. So this could be perceived as saying that they want to look at the research that the Russian government has done so far in the stage 1 and stage 2 trials but it can also be understood to mean that they want to see the results of the stage 3 trials before they're going to give their approval. So very, very tricky, very, very nuanced, but I mean, that's politics for you. You gotta be very careful about what you say. So that is our article for this week. Certainly, I think a very interesting subject matter. I hope that you guys liked the article since I wrote it. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, make sure to let us know in the comment section below. All right, that is everything for this week. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you'll check out our other videos on our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video and leave a comment if you want to tell us anything or ask a question. All right, everybody have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye!